Wow, impressive Mavs win last night, Carver High. They went into the Target Center, and it was over early.
Yeah, it was over early, Scotty. There's no doubt about that. In fact, 124 to 103, I don't even think that does it justice, to be quite honest with you. It really should have been worse, but the Timberwolves were able to get a little add-on there in the fourth quarter during garbage time.
40. It was almost 86-46.
Yeah, it was smashing them. Luka Dončić and Kyrie Irving both with 36 points in this game. But for Luka, Scotty, it was the first quarter where he absolutely put the foot on the gas and he put the Timberwolves away. You mentioned the logo three earlier in the show. I got a couple threes, and I believe the second one, yes, is the logo three that gave him a 20-piece in quarter number one on TNT.
14 for Luka on the logo. What is going on here? He is on one tonight.
Check from Luka.
Doncic again, another three. Got it. He's a flamethrower. He is on fire. 20 points.
I mean, this guy, look, let's not forget. I mean, I have slammed this guy a million times for his whining. And it's only because I say at the same time that he's the best player in the league. I mean, this guy is clearly, in my opinion, now the best player in the NBA. I mean, let's just face facts. They give it to the Joker every year, this MVP that's meaningless to me anymore. Ever since the JoJo Embiid fiasco, I'm done with that award. All I know is this guy, he has led the NBA. Listen, all that matters is the playoffs. All that matters is who wins rings. That's it. No one cares, including you, you of all people that I know on this earth that could care less about the NBA regular season. It's Carver High. And you have said that to me 5 million times on air and off. I don't give a rat's ass about their regular season. All that matters is the playoffs. So you get to the playoffs. This guy goes to his first final. And he has led every single player in the NBA in points, rebounds, and assists. He has the trifecta going. He is the best player in the NBA, and he's putting on a show, and he's not done yet. I am telling you, it's coming. It's like a Cat 5 hurricane, and you got 2 days to get out of Florida. You better get in a car, and you better leave early because the traffic's going to be hell. This guy's going to Boston to destroy lives. He will go in there and put on a show with Irving. It's coming. It's coming like as sure as I'm sitting here. Everyone thinks it's Boston this, Boston that. Tomorrow I'm on with this Kaufman fascist who I am good friends with, this little punk. I love Adam, but he's another one. He's another Celtic lover. This guy's in bed with every team in Boston like he works for him. He's on the take. And I'm going to do betting above the rim with this guy tomorrow. I got to listen to him tell me how great the Celtics are. You know who's great? I think Brown and Tatum are great, and I think Luka Dončić is better. He's better than both of them. He's better than both of them. People say that, I've said this to you before, that people think Tatum's the face of the league. Maybe when he's got his little baby boy in his arms and they try to sell you that garbage, like we're supposed to fall in love with him because he's got a son. Who doesn't? Okay? Luka has nothing. He's fat. He eats everything he sees, and he's still the best player in the NBA, and he's going to torch their ass like a 5-foot bong from James Baker. My boy Jerome, you know what's happening. I'm telling you, this guy's going to light them up. It's coming. Be ready.
Look, the best player in this series plays for the Dallas Mavericks. That's Luka. He's the best player in the NBA Finals, whether you like it or not. That's just the case. That's just the facts. He was named, of course, you mentioned all those stats. He was the Western Finals most valuable player. No surprise there. Very proud of his team, Scotty, after the victory.
You know, you guys obviously last year disappointing and up in the lottery. To make this leap, what do you think were kind of the key developments to make this happen just in the span of a year?
Insane. I think we got a great team, but most importantly, we got the great guys on the team. From players to coaches to everybody in the team, we have great guys, and that's the most important thing. Like I said, we stay together and we just play basketball. You know, especially I think we beat three very, very, very good teams, and having home advantage, which is pretty good for us.
Listen, he's some of these guys on the team, Washington, Gafford, all these guys, he's known them for 3 months. He never played with them. Okay, and then they brought over Kyrie Irving, and everyone said he's a cancer. And when they brought him to Dallas, that he was going to ruin the team like he ruins every other team he's been on. But that's just not the truth. He won a championship with LeBron, and all he did in Brooklyn was deal with that fiasco that Sean Marks created. He was just part of the problem. He wasn't the reason for all the problems. And then he went to Dallas, and they get along like they're boys, like best friends, like in a gang or something. And then the way he has mixed with the rest of them, like his old boy Kleber, he's been with him forever. They haven't been there since 13 with Dirk Nowitzki, whatever it was. And all I know is they put that thing together. He barely knows half of these guys, and he plays with them like he's been with them for 5 years. They got something going there, and it's really because of Luka and Kyrie. And what they do is they flat out cause so much havoc that everybody else is wide open. I mean, have you ever seen anything like P.J. Washington's jumpers? I haven't seen someone in his face since he wasn't even on the team, okay? No one guards him because they have to worry about those two. Everyone else is wide open on the Mavericks, and they knock down shots, and they're winning. They've kicked everyone's ass. I can't wait to see him kick Boston's ass.
I'll tell you the other thing that was weird to me, and I forgot last night when I was watching, because I didn't watch the second half because it was over, but I flipped it back on to see all the presentation stuff and listen to Luka and Kyrie afterwards. I forgot, Scotty, that Cuban sold most of that team. When they went up there to hand the trophy over to the team, there was some dude standing there I'd never seen before in my life, and it wasn't Cuban, and that was so he showed it to all those casino guys, right? The Las Vegas Sands group. He sold 72% of the Mavericks to. So not seeing Cuban up there was kind of strange. He was out there like hanging out with the players way on the side, but him not having his face pressed up against the camera, accepting all the awards, that was really weird to see.
Yeah, I never thought of that. This is the first time, catching on to that. Like I knew that he had done that. I just didn't care about him. I'm not all caught up in Mark Cuban's world. I'm really not. Like, it's funny. You know the story. Like, I grew up with him. He lived in my neighborhood as a child, and he sold garbage bags to old ladies for their lawn and their leaves. And he was like an entrepreneur as a kid. And then he went to Indiana, where I went to school. And I never knew him at IU. And then he hired me to do broadcast.com back in the day when he owned that, when I was big in Los Angeles. But then I've never really had any dealings with him since my LA days, which was so long ago. I left there in 99, so it's been that long. But I'm not a fan of how he operated that team and what went on there in the front office and all the scandals that went on there. I'm not all caught up in him. But I do think that, listen, people talk about superstars, and who are the guys who are going to create the biggest scene in this final? And I think it's those two. I think Brown is unbelievable. I think Tatum's unbelievable. We've already seen Tatum go to the finals, though, and lose. So I've heard about how great he is, and then I saw him lose. So he needs to win one himself. And I don't think Luka's going to let him do it.
All right, let me give you a couple other things from last night. We heard from Luka. Let's hear from Kyrie. Of course, me and you have been completely taken aback by the 1-8 that Kyrie has done here since he has gotten to Dallas, especially in the last couple of months. Excited to make it back to the NBA Finals. Of course, been there a bunch of times with LeBron in Cleveland, won it once. Now back on the biggest stage. He's excited.
We had to earn our spot into the NBA Finals, and we had to go against some great opponents, OKC, Clippers, Wolves, and I feel like they got us better as a team. They really challenged us on the defensive end, made us focus in, and I thanked every single one of them, like I did the previous two series, for making me better. And it has been 7 long years, but it's also felt like the right amount of time, in order to reward myself, be in locker room with my teammates and enjoying it. A long time coming, so we are going to enjoy this, but we obviously know this is just a pit stop in the journey, and we got to get ready for that court turning gold, as I like to say. The shoes turn gold, the jerseys turn gold, and as a kid, that's what you dream of, getting to is the finals and being able to play against the best of the best with the whole world watching.
Yeah, honestly, I don't even recognize this guy. We saw on a nightly basis here in New York, a different guy entirely. I don't even literally know who that guy is right there, but I like him a lot better than the guy that was in Brooklyn. And I have to tell you, I think he's obviously matured a lot. He's found a place where he's actually happy. This is different than playing with LeBron James, I think. And he hit the game winner, not LeBron. He hit it. And he wanted to be his own man. And then he got on that super team, and I don't think he liked that at all. Then he went with a guy that's like LeBron, just bigger than life. This guy, Doncic, is just gigantic. What he's become is literally, it's unthinkable how he's taken over the NBA since he came from Slovenia. This guy, he even said he's never seen a playoff game in his life as a child because he was in bed and he had to go to school and never watched it. And then, this guy's won at every level, and now he's gone to the NBA Finals. And then I think it really makes Kyrie enjoy it more, seeing and partnering up. It's like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. That's what I see. I see this guy that's just like, this is fun, and I am balling out. That shot he made last night high off the right corner glass that went in off of Jimmy Kiss was the best drive, the best bucket I've seen in the NBA playoffs by anybody. And, there's a lot of guys that can shoot logo threes. Luka does it like he's having a sandwich. So does Steph Curry. But I want to see guys make that shot where he drove with a guy in his face who was 7'2", and he put it up on the top, literally the top tape of the glass, and it went straight into the basket from an angle that was absolutely absurd. He had so much Jimmy on it and English. He's a badass. I am telling you, these two are showmen. They're not just great guards. They're going to put on a show in Boston, and no one there, including all their famous fans and actors and all their morons and Southies, you're about to have someone bust your dreams up. They're coming in there to ruin and cash your buzz. It's going to happen. Notice, no one can stop either one of them. Now, I don't deny that Brown and Tatum are good. I just think these two guys are better.
Can you imagine if I told you like a year and a half ago that we'd be rooting for the end of this great Kyrie Irving redemption story to win an NBA championship? We would have both thought you were absolutely nuts. That was actually, and that's what we're doing here. I want Kyrie and Luka to win. I want the Mavs to win the NBA Finals. And think about when they busted up that team too, Scotty, in Brooklyn, that super team. Durant, everybody thought he'd go and win in Phoenix. Everyone thought Harden would go and win with Embiid, right, in Philly.
They're worse now than they were in Brooklyn.
And Kyrie's going to be the guy who's going to come the closest and potentially do it out of those three guys that they busted
up
in
Brooklyn. And get a second ring. Just like
and get a second ring.
And Durant's were rented. He got rented rings because he got to play with the Warriors. So he was on a team that was already winning titles, and then he came along, and then that, how about this guy? Is there anyone more stuck up in the history of the NBA than Durant that he left that team? Who in their right mind would leave that team with Bob Myers running it and all those championships? I mean, is Patrick Mahomes leaving Kansas City? You don't leave great teams because you think you're some kind of badass. You know what's happened to him since he left there? He's been haunted by it. He can't win anywhere. He's never winning again.
It's very possible. Very possible.
It's reality.
Very possible.
He can't even sniff it. He can't even sniff it. He can't even win a playoff game.
Yeah, they didn't do that this year, that's for sure. We'll come back, and we will say goodbye quickly to the Timberwolves, and then I have all the early numbers for you for the NBA Finals. Yes, we have some days to wait. But we have the series odds, game one odds, Celtics and the Mavs. We'll do all those.
Here's another one for you. Rudy Gobert is the Defensive Player of the Year. My ass.
I know.
Wembanyama is the Defensive Player in the NBA. Got that? Broke ass Gobert. I thought Edwards was lighting it up last night, Mike, but too little, too late. I mean, you know what happened? He was still in the stall when the horse was rounding the first turn, and that was Doncic. My man was trapped in the gate because he didn't show up until he already had 20. Then all of a sudden he started knocking down bomb threes himself, but it was too late. I thought Towns and him had really good games. Tell me what happens when two guys have 28 each. You'll win 90% of the games, but not when the other two guys have 36 each.
Yeah, look, I think that the Timberwolves, Scotty, they just played somebody better. I mean, and that's what happens in the playoffs. And I think despite them going home last night, this was a big few weeks for them, right? This was a huge run for them in what they did, beating Phoenix, beating Denver, kind of bringing Ant up to that next level. Nobody wins the first time they get there. Tell me who in the NBA out of all the greats wins the first time they're in the last four, they're in the NBA. It doesn't happen very often.
Right.
So I think it was a good experience for Anthony Edwards. I think he probably needs a little bit of tweaking on that team. I don't know if that team, the way it is right now, is good enough to beat teams like Dallas or Boston or some of these other ones. But they're going to be around for a while, especially with how good Anthony Edwards is. And he says he'll be back, Scotty.
And your first real deep playoff run, how much did you enjoy just what playoff basketball has to bring?
It's fun, man. I love it. I wish we could still play. I wish we was going back to Dallas for Game 6. But those guys came out and they competed at a high level. And like I said, man, big shout out to them. But it's super fun, and I'm looking forward to being back right in this situation next year.
He's a great player. Here's my problem with that team. And, you heard me before. I think Towns is really talented, and I think he can score ad nauseum. But I also think he's a whiner. And I also think he's a giraffe. I think he's a tall, slow-ass giraffe who is already overweight and already slow. And I see him getting roasted in transition all the time. And it's only going to get worse as he gets older. Trust me, it only gets worse. I am slow as a mule. And when you get older, you lose your ability to run fast. When you don't run fast in the NBA, you get roasted. They will get burned on that deal by him. And let me say another thing. I think Rudy Gobert is the most overrated galoof that I've ever seen play. He is terrible. He has no talent at all offensively. Zero. All he can do is lob dunk. That's it. You give him the ball in the low block. I think he travels 7 out of 10 times with his feet moving when he's, getting the ball. He walks like nobody's business, and they don't call it. And then defensively, he didn't stop anybody, okay? So I said it before, I'll say it again. Wembanyama, hands down, better defender than him, hands down. I'll also put Chet Holmgren as a defender and shot blocker, shot alterer above him. I think he sucks. I think he holds them down. He doesn't make them better. I think he holds them down. And I don't think they have plans on getting rid of either one of them. And if you just saw the proof's in the pudding, with them, you got what you just got. And I say again, you bring them back again, they're not winning with those two. I don't care what you say. I'm not a fan of either. I don't think they're that good.
I don't think they can. I don't think anybody would want to take Rudy Gobert's deal. He's one of the 15 highest paid players in the league right now. Cat's problem is, as you said, he doesn't rebound and he doesn't play defense. And for a guy his size, you'd like to be able to do both of those things. And I think he chucks it way too quickly. Like the ball gets in his hands behind the 3-point line. It's like, boom. He doesn't even think about it. He's just chucking. And right. I think they would look to move him, honestly. If they found a deal, I think that they would try to move on from him. But I think it's going to be hard to move Gobert.
He scores too much, and Gobert gives them no scoring. If he has a 13-10 double-double, they consider that a big night. This other guy scores 30, 40 points in games. But I'm telling you, you said it. You don't play no defense and can't run.
Well,
he cries as much as Doncic. Like, this guy wants an and one every time he shoots, and he's screaming and yelling at the refs, and he wastes so much time at the one end complaining. The other guy's going down dunking the ball. That's a liability at some point, if you ask me.
It's like they're both there to counter each other, right? Gobert's there to make up for Cat not playing D and rebounding. Cat's there to make up for Gobert not having offense. Can't have two guys for that. One guy.
And he's been there and he's never got it done.